website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Need to tune this one. I have an important insight for you that will change your results when you're practicing. But it starts here and then it becomes action and it changes your relationship with how you practice basically completely because it's about practicing. And so you need to stay tuned. This is important. Most of us think that 99% of everyone who practices guitar will fall into this trap. And that's why 99% will either give up or never reach the skill level they want. We think practicing is one thing. We think everybody understands what it is. But we just use it as, okay, go home and practice. What does that mean? And if you ask, then most people would say that, you try, right? And then you fail. And then as you fail more and more, you also succeed some of the time. And so with experience, you learn how to do it, right? Like, you want to put a basketball in a hoop, you try and try and try, and then gradually your body and brain learns how it feels to hit the hoop, right? Same thing goes here. You want to learn to play a chord, you put your fingers, or you try to put your fingers in the right place, and then and then gradually you learn how to not only put your fingers in the right place, but also have all the strings ring out when you play. When you want to practice a scale shape, you fail in the beginning, right? You hit the wrong notes and you look at the charts and then gradually you can both memorize the scale shape and you can also make the notes happen by both picking and using your left hand, right? That's practicing. But that's only the first step. After the first step, if you keep practicing, you are basically shooting yourself in the foot. You are sabotaging your development. You're ruining the pleasure of playing guitar. And you're completely removing all chance of having real results. Not completely, because some brains figure it out. But brains, when they figure it out, don't tell you about it. They just shut up. You learn it and then you think you're talented, all right? Because your brain figured it out. But let's be conscious about what happens when the brain figures it out. So we can just do it, everyone. So we don't have to rely on luck or what we call talent in order to learn it. And what really happens is that, and we know that from science, from studies, that if you want to become really good at something, you have to stop practicing. Once you know how to do it at a low level, you know how to put your fingers there, then you want to do it over and over and over again because you don't want to practice. You don't want to become good at doing something because it's not you ultimately that's doing it. It's a button in the brain. I don't play a C major. I just go for the G, or I go for the D, or I go for the A, or the E, or the C, or the F. It's a pattern. It's just a boom, boom, boom. It's like pushing a button. And that's the only place you want to get to. You don't want to get half there. You don't want to. That's valueless, right? You want to get to the place where you can actually play music. What does that mean? Well, where the mechanics of it, the actual bits and bytes of playing music are automatic. And that means if you're playing a simple song with 3 chords in it, then the chords are totally automatic. Well, if they're automatic, then it's without feeling. No. The mechanics of the chords should be absolutely automatic. Then once they're automatic and you can talk as you play them, then suddenly you can become conscious about what goes on. And then you can start playing with feeling, right? Not before. So don't talk about feeling until you have it all down to the level of automatic. How do you get to automatic? Well, not by practicing, that's for sure. Because when you practice, this is a mindset of practicing. When you're practicing, you accept mistakes. And you accept mediocrity when you think practicing, right? You learn chords. And then once you can play one, you go on to the next one. And this is about the mindset. And then you go on to the next one. And then the next one. Then you learn a new song. And after 2 years, you can play a lot of chords. And maybe you know a couple of scale shapes as well and can play some single notes. But you absolutely have no place in a band after 2 years. 2 years of playing, and that's what we have to show for it, because we're practicing. When we think about practicing, we think about gradually getting better, and it seems so logical that it takes 10, 20 years to arrive at any place where we can really play music relaxed and totally with freedom, right? That seems like a magical place, but it's not. You just have to stop the mindset of practicing and start building patterns. Because what happens when you play, when you master what you play, then basically it's all intuition. The brain's just pushing its own buttons when it has to, right? So you go. How does that happen? How does this happen? It's basically little patterns that are fired off in the brain, and it's like I don't know how that happens actually, but it's like there's an intent when I'm playing. I'm not thinking about let's play that lick, let's play this sequence, let's go there. It just happens, and it's not magic. It's not I'm so special. It just happens when I play. It just comes from my soul. It's nothing like that. It's just an automated process. It doesn't come from your soul when you're driving a car. That's automatic too, right? So however you want to describe it, but don't make it something that is unattainable and so special that you can't get to it. But it starts with building patterns. You can improvise. If you have chords down to the level of mastery or the strumming, right? You can go. I didn't know that I would play a C and a G. I didn't know what notes I would hit. It's just like talking. It's just an association with notes or whatever. Automated systems, automated patterns. And the only way to get there is to stop practicing and then take small, loopable patterns and repeat them incessantly, thousands of times. And it seems you want to get to the final place of, with anything. You want to be able to play that 3-chord song. So people just go cry when they hear you or really get, touched. Why would you not push it all the way to that, play that song and really be able to just strum with total, that's what we want to get to. Wouldn't you? Who wouldn't like to do thousands of repetitions? It's not boring because you're not there when you're doing it, right? You know the chords, you practice them consciously until the point where you can really play them, and then gradually as you get better, you can practice them with less and less focus because the pattern is in the brain, it's just slow. But then as you practice it while talking to people, doing other things, then gradually it becomes such an automated pattern, right? Right? It becomes just something that the body can do, and then you can fire it off, and your creativity, whatever that is, then makes it happen. It's the most amazing thing, but you have to stop practicing. And I don't mean that as a hyperbole, like let's pretend that words and blah. It's not like a philosophical discussion. It's just practicing like practicing basketball is stupid. You have to start creating perfect little repetitions of perfect patterns over and over again so you can automate stuff. And it seems like you have to spend a lot of time and you cannot learn songs anymore, but you spend half your time building automated patterns and then half your time doing whatever, right? And spend all the time you have when you're not in a room by yourself, just sitting with your guitar constantly, and preferably an electric guitar with no sound on it, so you can do all the things and talk to people. And once you practiced a pattern that you can then start really training into your nervous system and think training. That's the only way to get to the point where you can play music and be in the music instead of being in the mechanics of making the music happen. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.